was a cold evening in New York City. The grocery store buzzed with activity as people hurried to finish their shopping. The holiday season was approaching, and the shelves were filled with everything from fresh bread to brightly wrapped boxes of chocolates. Among the customers was a young woman named Emily. Her coat was thin, her shoes were worn, and her hair was tied back in a messy bun. She carried a small baby in her arms, her daughter, Lily, who was barely a year old. Emily's face looked tired, yet her eyes reflected determination. She had worked extra hours as a waitress, but life had been cruel. Rent, utilities, and medical bills had eaten up most of her income. This trip to the grocery store wasn't just about food, it was about survival. Emily carefully placed a few essentials on the checkout counter: a small box of baby formula, a pack of diapers, a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, and some apples. Her hands trembled as she counted the few crumpled bills in her pocket. The cashier scanned the items and read out the total. "That'll be $40.75. Emily froze. She only had 30. Her heart pounded. She had done the math at home, but she hadn't considered the rising prices. With shaking hands, she tried to smile and said, I don't have enough. Could you please remove the diapers? I'll take them next time." The cashier sighed, voided the diapers, and announced, "Now it's $28.90. Emily felt relief for a moment. She reached into her pocket, pulled out the cash, and handed it over. But when the cashier counted it, he frowned. "Miss, you're short. You only have $27.50 here." Emily's face turned pale. She searched her pockets again, but there was nothing. Her daughter began to cry, and the sound pierced her already breaking heart. "I'm sorry," Emily whispered, her voice shaking. "Can you please just take out the formula then? I'll manage somehow." The cashier shook his head. "Ma'am, without the formula, your baby won't have milk." "Are you sure?" Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I don't have a choice." Behind her, people in line grew impatient. Someone muttered, "Come on, hurry up." Another scoffed, "Why do people shop when they can't even pay?" Emily's cheeks burned with shame. She picked up Lily, trying to hush her cries, and prepared to walk away empty-handed. But then, a deep voice spoke from behind. "Wait, don't take anything out. Add the diapers back too." Emily turned around. Standing there was a tall man in a tailored suit. His hair was neatly combed, his shoes polished. His presence commanded attention. He looked nothing like the average grocery shopper. The cashier hesitated. "Sir?" The man walked forward and pulled out a sleek black credit card. "Put it all on this, and give her a gift card worth $500 as well." Gasps echoed around the checkout line. Emily's eyes widened. "No, sir, please. You don't have to do this." The man smiled gently. "I know I don't have to, but I want to." The cashier quickly processed the payment. Emily clutched Lily tighter, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Thank you." "Thank you so much. You don't even know me. Why would you help me?" The man extended his hand. "My name is James Carter. I'm the CEO of Carter Enterprises." Emily blinked in shock. She had read about him in the newspapers, a millionaire entrepreneur who had built his empire from nothing. People often described him as cold and calculating in business, but at this moment he seemed warm and kind. James glanced at the crying baby. "Years ago I was in your shoes. My mother used to stand in grocery store lines just like this, struggling to pay for food. I promised myself that if I ever became successful, I would never forget people like her. Or people like you." Emily covered her mouth, overwhelmed with emotion. James handed her the bags himself. "Take care of your daughter. And remember, this moment doesn't define you. Tough times don't last, but tough people do." The crowd that had once judged Emily now stood silently, many of them looking ashamed. Some even clapped softly. Emily could barely speak. I don't know how to thank you." James smiled. "Don't thank me. One day when life gives you the chance, help someone else. That's all I ask." As James walked away, Emily held her daughter close. Lily had stopped crying, almost as if she sensed the kindness that had just unfolded. For Emily, that night wasn't just about groceries. It was about hope. About realizing that even in a world full of judgment and indifference, compassion still existed. Weeks later, Emily received a letter in the mail. It was from Carter Enterprises. Inside was an invitation to apply for a job opening as a customer service representative. Attached was a personal note from James. "Emily, I saw strength in you that day. Don't let life convince you that you are weak. You deserve a chance. Come and work with us. With trembling hands, Emily applied. To her surprise, she was hired. It wasn't an executive position, but it was steady work with good pay and benefits. For the first time in years, Emily felt like she was moving forward. She could pay rent on time. She could buy Lily the things she needed. She could breathe without constant fear. Every day she worked at Carter Enterprises, she saw the CEO from afar. He always greeted her with a nod and a kind smile, but he never mentioned the grocery store again. To him, helping people wasn't about recognition. It was about humanity. A year later, Emily had saved enough to rent a small but cozy apartment. Lily was growing fast, laughing and playing with her toys. Emily herself was learning new skills at work and had recently been promoted to team leader. One afternoon, she was called into James's office. Nervously, she entered. James looked up from his desk and smiled. Emily, do you remember what I asked of you that night? She nodded. To help someone else when I can. James leaned back. Good, because today, we're starting a new community project. Carter Cares. It's a program to help single parents and struggling families. And I want you to lead it. Emily gasped. Me, but why? Because you know what it feels like. You understand their struggles better than anyone else. You have compassion, resilience, and heart. That's more valuable than any business degree. Tears welled in Emily's eyes again. I'll do it. I promise I'll do my best. And she did. Under Emily's leadership, Carter Cares became a nationwide program, helping thousands of families with food, shelter, and job opportunities. She became a symbol of hope, proof that even the darkest nights can lead to the brightest mornings. Years later, Emily stood on a stage giving a speech at a charity event. Lily, now a cheerful schoolgirl, sat in the front row, clapping for her mother. James was there too, watching proudly. Emily's voice carried across the hall. I was once a poor girl, rejected at a checkout counter with my baby in my arms. But a kind man chose to step forward when everyone else turned away. That act of kindness didn't just feed us for a night. It changed the course of our lives. And today I stand here not as someone who was saved, but as someone who can now save others. That is the power of compassion. That is the power of humanity. The audience erupted in applause. James smiled, knowing his mother's struggles had not been in vain, and that the promise he made long ago had grown into something far greater. And Emily? She no longer saw herself as the poor girl at the checkout. She was a leader, a mother, and an inspiration, all because one millionaire CEO had chosen to step forward.